My Hero Academia.
Oh, RGC.
This is Brian's certified really good chapter.
Certified
That is not the only thing.
Certified RGC.
Oh, is it yours too?
Certified
No.
RGC.
So, before we get into this, I want to say a quote from Brian.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could open up my Instagram right now, but I can't. So I'm just gonna. It's not exactly word for word.
I know what. I can open it up for you.
So Brian's. Okay, thanks. You gonna read it for me?
Yeah. You could stall if you want to give it a little bit of introduction. It'll take a second.
Yeah. So when words hold weight, the words we choose matter, in my opinion. The way you say, you could say the same thing with in two completely different sentences. You know what I'm saying? Or you can say two completely different things in two similar sentences. I'm done stalling.
Okay, I got it. This is Brian's quote. By the way, this is probably my favorite academia chapter of all time. This is from our group chat.
All time. All time. Like that, because I wish there was a drop.
Yeah, I wish you would. Can you say it a little more clear into the mic? I could probably just make one.
Brian's favorite chapter of all time. I'm sorry. You're going to have to clip it from there, like that.
I'll try. I'll try my best.
Brian. Now, do you remember saying that?
Yeah, I do.
All right. Now, do you feel at this point in time still, and this is prior to us reviewing it, just do you still feel the same way now? Or do you feel that perhaps maybe you overreacted?
No, I still think this is the best My Hero Academia chapter by far.
Mm-hmm. Strong words, boy. Let's get into it.
Of this arc, or
No,
this month?
Out of every arc,
the entire series.
Every time I read this chapter, I'm like, wow, this chapter really blew it out the fucking.
Do you remember how many times you read it off the top of your head?
I've read it like 3 times, I think.
Okay.
Every time I read it.
I read it twice.
All right.
Every time I read it, I'm like, wow, this is such a good chapter.
Now. My little segment is done. I just want everyone to remember this.
All right. I guess we can get into it. This is My Hero Academia, chapter 293, Hero Saturated Society. Last we left off, Lemillion came back, and he started fucking shit up. We get a little bit of a flashback to explain how that works, because this is, I guess, how My Hero Academia does things now. They do a big thing. Quick flashback to explain it. And it is what exactly you thought it was. Lemillion just hit up Eri, is like, yo, you ready to give me my powers back? And Eri was like, yeah. And she did it. And there's no time limit, it seems. Lemillion seems to permanently have his powers back, as far as we know. And yeah, so he's back, and he's fucking shit up.
He was, man.
But he knows that he's not enough to do it alone, especially since he's been out for a little while now. How long did he say he was out? What?
Half a year.
6 months essentially. It was.
Has it been 6 months since that happened?
In universe, remember that was like 3 months.
In the manga.
And probably
it's
a year.
Like,
it's probably been a while since he lost.
Probably not that far. Probably really not that. Like maybe a little bit more.
It's been a couple years since he's lost his quirk.
No, I think there's been some time.
I don't know about all of that, bro. I feel like that just happened last year.
It feels very close because a lot of things happened in My Hero Academia in a short amount of time. But I think,
yes.
I mean, it wasn't like it wasn't like dumb long ago.
Including Eri's recovery arc and Lemillion's recovery arc.
Yeah. But in any case,
I'm gonna wait.
He's just like, I'm not enough yet. Someone, anyone, please help. And all we hear are the explosions from that time. Where like nothing I've ever done. All condensed, faster, stronger too. And you see Bakugo sweating, bleeding, just like catapulting himself through the air. I've never felt that sensation before, like being on death's door in a total crisis, which is interesting. I have a theory about it a little bit. and I don't know if like the fandom has kind of like caught up to it too. But
I have a theory also. I want to hear yours first, though.
yeah, I think like quirks, because we know that they can evolve. So I think there's probably like a fight or flight instinct to it. That the closer you are to death, the stronger they become a little bit. If you choose to fight, like Midoriya did the same thing when he was fighting Muscle. That's what I'm trying to liken it to. Is that moment where he like just boosted his power in a death's door situation. So I don't know. I mean, what did you think? What was your?
That's Dragon Ball Z-esque, isn't it? Oh, like Dragon Ball Z or like late Naruto.
It's shonen. I think it's just shonen that like in your darkest moment you just become very strong. But I think.
I mean, but then again, also it's also like a life thing, you know. Like,
I don't hate it.
Sometimes
let me be clear.
Sometimes they're like mothers when their kids are in trouble, they get like an extra boost like to save them. Like there was a lady who fucking pulled a car over her head to make sure that her kid is safe in real life. So I mean, it's not like it's uncommon for somebody who desperately needs to get the job done to like, you know, need to do something. So it wouldn't make sense.
Asta does it all the time.
Bad for someone to like do that, you know, like to like, especially if you're a hero, like, you know, evolving when everything's on the line, you know, that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't hate it.
And like Christian mentioned, it is a thing in shonen manga. It's like it's a trope, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Be that way. And it's not like he's out here to like Super Saiyan it up. He just pulled up and exploded some stuff.
But why do I still have an attitude, bro?
I don't know.
It's because he's still alive.
Yeah. I think I know what you're talking about.
I'm not...
I think we can address your feeling. I understand where you're coming from a little bit. Like I feel you is what I'm saying. You're not completely alone. I'll be right there with you.
It's like, yeah.
I mean, you if you want to say
no. I want to at least wait to finish the chapter.
Okay, so Bakugo zooms past Best Jeanist. Best Jeanist is like, well, have you experienced the world, Bakugo? And Bakugo finally reveals his hero name. It's Great Explosion Murder God Dynamite. So he just made it.
Wait. Are we gonna just pass by this amazing action page here?
Oh yeah, 2-page spread where not only Bakugo but Midoriya and Nejire, who survived, is out here doing some work. Which I'm happy for Nejire. Like I'm a little annoyed because like the other two people, especially Nejire of the big three, supposedly from this group, don't really do much. I'm glad Nejire especially got it because she hasn't really had a moment to where I'm like, whoa.
Even Ida pulled up into this scrap.
Yeah, Ida pulled up. It was cool. It was
and finally did, I guess, something kind of clutch, right?
Yeah, something kind of clutch.
Because God forbid we get it in. Oh my God, I'm so fucking annoyed with this chapter, man. It's not looking. The future isn't looking bright, man.
Yeah.
The future is not looking bright, but maybe I'm hoping for too much. Maybe I just really have this perception of things that was like that, and I really need them to be a certain way in my head, and I did that to My Hero Academia, man, and it's not right. I can't, man, but this is not what I imagined when people getting a cool moment. And Bakugo of all people with an ass pull super move? Come on, son. That is not what this series is about. If I want to see that shit and feel hype about it, I'll read Black Clover, my nigga, that we dog on all the fucking time.
Or I do.
But doing the same shit with better art. Yeah, I said it. Sorry. But I don't know, man. I haven't been feeling it lately, yo.
Yeah.
It's like we go hard on other shit. Promise Neverland, it was so hollow at the end. Bro, this shit is hollow. We didn't get no... With even the training arc we were supposed to get with that they sandwiched together, right? With Midoriya and Hot Ice and this nigga Bakugo. We got 2 chapters of one thing happening? Mm-hmm. Fuck out of here, son.
Yeah.
This isn't cool to me. This is like, oh shit. Impromptu things happening. Like, where's the plan? Bro, I'm spoiled by series. Like I'm spoiled by better series. I'm sorry to say that, man. This is my full fucking My Hero Academia rant. And I'm only annoyed because it's like, where you got where's the am I just that much of a hater?
No.
Like that?
I feel
like
you.
This. That's the only reason I'm tight is because I like the series and I don't like where
I feel you, man.
I don't like what I've been seeing for the past like 3 months, man.
Yeah.
It hasn't been. This ain't brand new.
Yeah.
I've been new. I was kind of like, oh, it'll get over that hill. Oh, they'll show us. They'll wrap this arc. Nope. It just hasn't been done for me personally.
Gotcha.
And I know that nigga on YouTube is gonna not like that I wear that on, but god damn it, man. God damn it. I can't even put coherent thoughts together.
I got you. I got you. I feel you. I was waiting for the end to really like say my whole thing.
Oh, I couldn't hold it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. It's okay, bud. We'll talk about it.
Bro, even Dobby, like, we can at least get a fucking one-on-one with him and his bro or something, at least. No, instead this nigga's monologuing while he's holding and burning his brother that did nothing to him. Like, bro, you're not a psycho like that. You are a thinker, my nigga. Mm-hmm. Like, they're gonna try to steal Bakugo. Why not try to steal your brother and tell him about your dad and be like, join me? That would have been way fucking smarter, in my opinion.
Yeah. Join me. It's like Darth Vader.
Yeah, don't you hate your dad anyway? Look at all this other shit he did. Remember when he thought I was dead? Then he could have really tried to warp his mind while he was sitting there in that chair, not Bakugo's crazy ass. Like, what? Yeah. Anyway. All right, I'm going to tone it down.
In any case, yeah, Bakugo's like, great explosion, murder, god, dynamite. And, yeah, like Josh said earlier.
That's a lit name.
He's burning Todoroki alive.
That's a cool name.
He's burning Todoroki alive and monologuing. Man, he really does like doing splash pages where Dabi just looks crazy. This is like the third one in 2 chapters where it's just like a full page spread of him be like, I'm a crazy boy.
I believe you, bro. I believe you. You don't have to force it on us anymore. What's the author's name again?
Horikoshi.
Horikoshi. Like, we get it, Horikoshi.
Yeah. But they're broken up by Black Whip. And Midoriya is not using his arms or legs. He's using his tongue, I guess. He's like having Black Whip come out of his mouth, which I liked a lot. I'll say this. If there's like... I'm getting the things I liked about this chapter out of the way. I feel like this is very... in Midoriya's character, because he's always taking notes on people. He's always just like, trying to learn and apply his powers the way other people do. He's not afraid to like take knowledge from others. And this is an unexpected
and take risks.
Yeah, it's an unexpected way for him to use Black Whip. And it's very innovative. That's what I really always liked about Midoriya, is that out of all the shonen protagonists, he's like the most innovative, and he's a thinker, and he tries to he's a very creative individual in his combat. But yeah, this whole part echoes that moment where Midoriya intervened with the Todorokis back at the tournament arc, where he kind of like forced Todoroki to use his full power, and he was trying to help their family out in a way. His actions and end up inspiring the Todorokis yet again here. As Gigantomachia finally bursts out of the fabric, he's about to make his move, but that's when Endeavor shoots up and smacks the shit out of him, dropping him to the ground.
Bam! Hold that.
Yeah, bam!
Finally, get your old ass up and do something. I mean, I guess Shigaraki did kind of give him the beats.
Yeah. And his power is suddenly gone, and the reason being, as Lemillion reminds us, is that I got a message from the gang at the villain. They said that their strategy didn't work, but the sedative finally kicked in, and
bingo, which Brian has been literally just waiting for that.
He was yelling it at us.
He called it for Matt for weeks.
And
I'm gonna give you your credit, bro. And about fucking time, right?
I wanna also say I wasn't like the sedative's never gonna work, right? I don't think I was that.
No, nobody said that. He just kind of was the first one to be like, "Yo, it's not that it didn't work. It's probably gonna hit like at the opportune time." And then he was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
That's probably That's probably what's gonna happen.
That was My Hero Academia. I read it the first time and I felt pretty weird about it. I don't know how I felt the second time. I felt a little better about it. I think Josh's concerns are all valid, and they ring true. This arc has been a lot of ups and downs.
It's been a crazy roller coaster.
Yeah, it's a weird.
There's been really awesome moments. It's not like it's been complete shit. I just had those reservations for a while.
For sure,
and
it feels that way. And what's hard about this is that this is not the final arc, so that's why a lot of this stuff is like. I feel like he's tiptoeing around a lot of things because like this is not the end. But at the same time, he's setting an expectation is like when they actually do square up for real, you gotta deliver on a way better level, and that's the only thing that keeps me from being like angry at My Hero is that like okay, this is not supposed to be the last arc. This is supposed to be a lot more one-on-one fights. It's not supposed to happen right now. This is a more frenzied situation. The pace of this is too fast for it to be like a big decisive battle, and you can't establish that early. You know what I mean? Like you can't have that who can beat who midway through your series. It's like if Naruto went all up against Pain immediately, like before Shippuden, and we were expecting to beat him then. You know what I mean? Like
win or lose, even if he lost and it led to more story, right? You're still kind of like, come on, man.
Yeah, but I do appreciate what you're saying.
If he had done this a different way.
I do appreciate what you're saying, and it all goes back to like this weird. I think like the pacing issues is just what it is, and My Hero.
That's what it boils down to.
And we say it every week.
And the execution of it.
We say it every week, so I don't want to like bog it down and be a broken record. But if anything, My Hero Academia has like really shown me. I think all of us here like the importance of just like pacing and why Oda does stuff the way he does. Like the slowest One Piece moments are because it's the opposite of this, I guess. So it's the opposite.
If I may give a few just before, because I do want to hear Brian's thoughts. I know
it's
for sure probably gonna be tainted by what I said and also from you, but I do want to hear. I want to end this on a positive vibe, but I do want to say these last things and just a very clear and concise way to put it. Right, the issue with the sedative, right? We seen it coming, similar to the situation with Dabi, right? And it's not like that doesn't happen in other series. It's about like how you execute it, right? They did that, and it feels like it was a long time ago, but it wasn't really that long ago in the scheme of that plot. You know what I'm saying? Because they had moments broken down, and they had like maybe 5 minutes broken down into 3 or 4 different chapters in that Shigaraki fight, and then right before that, it was the kids on their last stand against Mafia, right? Mm-hmm. Had he took his time a little bit more with the Shigaraki fight, given a few other people maybe some team fights where they had to where it's just isolated on them, and then he could have said, meanwhile, while this was happening, he did this really well during the training arc when they was out in the woods in the villain's attack. He executed that. That was the arc for me that really that made me wishful for the future and saying, nah, he's gonna deliver. Like this is just a little training part, and it's this lit. So he built that expectation because I felt like he didn't rush, and we was given enough of each person and a little moment for everybody. Now all he had to do was that, and then let things get even more dire with everyone's situation, and then boom, the one person that's wrecking everything, and that is everyone's problem directly or indirectly in Giganto Machia, boom, that sedative hits. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? He could have set this up so much better than this. Like, and we have better examples of it. Mm-hmm. As a tenured manga reader, I haven't read all of them. I haven't read a vast quantity, but I've been reading for enough years in my life I know better, and I know this author can do better.
Right.
I'm going to leave it at that.
Brian, what were your thoughts?
And that's all of mine.
Sorry for hating.
Okay.
I guess.
So, honestly, like, I still love this chapter so fucking much. Primarily because, like, you guys bring up the pacing and everything, like how fast everything's going and all that. But honestly, I think this is one of the best paced chapters in a long time that I've read, like, My Hero Academia. Mainly because, like, he just ties so many things together so fluidly. Like everything just goes by. Like he'll drop information and move on to the next section so easily. Like it's just so perfect.
Yeah.
Like this whole Mirio situation, like and it just answers questions even with just the paneling itself. So in the first page you see Eri with her horn small. So that just answers the question right away. Like you know that she's used her ability and she's not going to be able to use it for a very long time. Which also kind of puts you a little bit at ease that all the fucking people that got fucked up in this arc isn't just going to walk it off anymore, you know? Like she's already used her power on Mirio.
There's going to be stakes,
Yeah,
I didn't even notice that, bro. That was a good. I didn't notice that contrast.
Yeah, it's also mentioned that like she's been practicing using lizards to regrow limbs. So in theory, she can grow back Miriko's limbs. She could grow back
Aizawa's.
Yeah, Aizawa she could fix. So yeah, it's it's establishing that. Go ahead, Brian. I want to let you finish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm just validating your responses. Just saying I agree with you as well. I mean,
So it continues, and it's like when you see Mirio, when I'm reading this chapter and Mirio's in it, he's kind of like the big guy in this like whole chapter. Like you see this guy, and he has so much brightness and so much energy and so much presence. Like he's almost just as big as Endeavor in this moment, and Endeavor is the number one hero.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it really makes you like think about like the comparison between him and Deku, like whether you like it or not. Like this guy was supposed to be next. Yeah. This guy was supposed to be next up. He was supposed to be the next symbol of hope, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you see this guy in action, he just has that that like I'm a hero and I know what I'm doing. And even when he's struggling, like in this moment where he's like, somebody help, I still not enough to deal with this. Like that's still like good shit from him. Like, like Mirio
he was smart enough to understand. Like he was still confident. Yeah, I agree. I'm just gonna kind of just agree with those points, man. Like I was my issues with the overall like arc, and again the pacing really kind of like fucks up these like a lot of these like moments for me because I get kind of jaded, man. And that's why I wanted to hear you speak. Honestly, to end the chapter off because it is dope. I may not fully agree with how they went about it. I would have liked it to be a little bit more drawn out and more detailed, et cetera, et cetera. But they said enough. There's no loopholes here.
Yeah.
I don't have any issue with the plot or anything like that. And it was cool. It's good to see him. And I'm glad there's no bullshit strings attached. Like, oh, it's this pill that you could only take for X amount of time. Or I want him to be back. I want him to be that dude.
Yeah.
I want him to train Deku more. I want him to train maybe somebody else. Maybe one of the classmates and let them level up. You feel me? Maybe Mirio's path could be as a guy, as a teacher. He doesn't have to, since he's not all for one. I like that his future's not cut off.
Yeah.
Because honestly, in a manga about superpowered heroes, you lose your powers, bro, you a lame. To me.
Yeah, historically, if you listen to the podcast, if you listen to the podcast historically, Josh doesn't like people with no powers.
So in
the superpowered already universe, yes.
The way that I've read this chapter a little bit though, like once Bakugo comes in, it's like this guy's next, and then Bakugo comes and he's next in line after Mirio, because like everything that Bakugo's been showcasing in this arc has screamed future number one. Like there's no doubt about it. Like this guy comes in even before he gets injured. He's like commanding the number one hero to do shit, right? Like he's taking charge in a lot of these situations, and he's coming back in even when he's near death, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Bakugo comes in. He's got the charisma, and he's got he's wise beyond his years. He was that guy, man, and we're gonna see what else happens with him in the future. Like Chris said, also this ain't the last arc. This fucking better not be.
It just feels hard. It just feels like it. Just because it's
better not even be the halfway, my nigga. I'm sorry. This better just be like that first major game changer.
I feel like this is gonna
be the game changer. Ooh, I'm writing that one down.
Obviously,
So
I think there's like
Bakugo
Right
Shippuden.
along with
Show
Joshua Rants.
I feel like this is like a Shippuden point for after this arc. It's probably going to be a time skip or some sort where everybody levels up. I'll say this. I remember.
I think so too.
It's like I mentioned earlier. Like I read this chapter twice. Once, for as a fan. The others, that's how my process goes. I read it at least twice. Second time for notes. I enjoyed it a lot more the second time around than I did initially. And there are a lot of really good character moments that are isolated here. And, with Midoriya, I love that. That was one of my top few Midoriya moments, honestly. The floppy tongue is like, that's vintage Midoriya. Like, you lose.
Oh, I was so annoyed when I seen it, bro, because I had such an attitude, man, between Brian saying this was the best thing ever. And
best My Hero chapter.
Like,
Josh doesn't like hyperbole. So he'll hyperbole right back.
It started
at you.
with the eerie thing. I just felt like it wasn't enough for me at the moment. But as I read it again, you said it really well. You reminded me what Midoriya was about. Because shit, lately he's been about just punching shit.
Yeah,
so,
it's you forget
that was cool.
Because Midoriya's just been
Yeah,
focusing
you forget
on...
when everything else is just kind of happening.
Yeah,
we don't take our time.
I mean, I'll argue this also. I was thinking about this while we were talking about it. I wonder if this arc will be better if you read it all at once. Because I think this fast pace is on purpose, obviously. Like, it's supposed to feel like, holy shit, things are moving so fast. And everybody's just trying to, like... Nobody has a plan in this. So everybody's just improving left and right, villains and heroes, just trying to win. It's like the end of a very close game where you're just pulling out all the stops and you're trying to just get the fuck out of there. It's really close, and that's how I feel. And I think like maybe the week ruins it a little bit. The week waits. This is one of those arcs where like if you read it all together like in a volume, it reads better. Although I still maintain that
100%.
I still maintain that there are certain things that he shouldn't have, like, that don't deserve that pace. Like the Hawks and Twice relationship, stuff like that. That deserves a little bit more, like, there's obvious things that should be taken slower, but I definitely...
We needed more there.
Yeah, I definitely think, though,
more.
that, like, this was supposed to feel like... We're supposed to get a little bit of whiplash from this arc. I think that's the intention, but it gets lost in a week, where if you're not, like, marathoning these chapters, it's probably going to be weird. But I wonder...
My tea kettle has stopped steaming. I'm pretty chill.
You're turning back into Josh Gold from the Hulk.
Just to wrap up my favorite part of this chapter, it's the interaction between Endeavor, Deku, and
Dabi.
So
I like that too. That was my favorite part as well.
I was reading this part and I was like, that was the part where he says, "And guess what? You are Endeavor." And I was reading that over and over again. I'm like, why does that impact Endeavor so much? Like, and why is it like this?
Because
so
he said this,
and I read it. And I'm like, okay, so basically what Deku is saying is that, like Dabi's whole thing, like his whole persona has been built around what Endeavor did to him, right? And what he's basically trying to say is that he's a product of Endeavor's mistakes. But what Deku is saying here is that, guess what? Like, you built up this whole persona about this shit. You built up that you are Endeavor's biggest mistake. You're who Endeavor is. But sure, the past never dies, but you don't define who Endeavor is anymore. Like, and that's what woke Endeavor up, because like Endeavor, like, you could see it throughout, like, every single time, like, he has like this character moment involving Dabi and who he was.
He was kind of just frozen there in shock, like shell shock. What I felt like what Midoriya did was lift those weights from. He liberated him from that mindset. Like, this is completely my fault, and I must suffer for that mistake from before.
Yeah, exactly.
We made a small point about this with Daredevil last week because it was such a great issue that should have been the unanimous VGI, but I digress. About with Daredevil and Elektra, where Matt Murdock. Remember, like, they both killed. So he made the line where one, he said, "I'm a man who's killed a man, and she's a woman who's killed like different men or whatever.
Yeah.
He was so remorseful about that one kill. She just did it, and death was nothing to her. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, so it's kind of the same dynamic where like he's remorseful. He may not have been at the time. He may have been clouded, but you know what he's doing right now? Trying to be better.
Mm-hmm.
And what are you doing? You're being a whiny little asshole. That's such a lame that no one likes anymore. And your hair dye is whack, nigga.
I'm gonna blow your minds a little.
salty.
This moment was actually a parallel to the tournament arc as well, where Todoroki,
Oh, was it?
where Midoriya, while he was fighting Todoroki, he also said something along the same lines as "You're not Endeavor," but now it's like twisted into this other direction where he means it in a positive light. Where I've seen Endeavor try to change who he is, and you're not Endeavor. You know, so that's why it affects Endeavor the way that it does. Is that like he's heard it before, and he's heard those words, but it's this time it's in a more positive light.
I didn't.
Wow, that's really cool. I did not. Yeah. Wow.
I just recently watched My Hero Academia the tournament.
Oh my god, that
Lucky
makes this
guy.
chapter so much better. Oh my god.
Doing some extra research.
I've just been watching
Alright,
shit.
bro.
I've just been watching.
Okay.
I didn't just
It's
watch
alright.
it. I just happened to be watching that episode a few days ago.
Nah. It's all good, bro.
I'm watching
It's all
through.
good. Hey, listen, you the whiz kid, bro.
Also, one more thing is that, like, I've been wondering why I feel so weird about Dobby being crazy, but when
it's
you
whack.
think about it,
It is kinda whack.
When you really think about it, when you really think about it, it's not like when you go back and look at what kind of character Dobby was. He was never really
DCC.
he was never really
Cool, calm,
a
collected.
cool, calm, collected character.
He
Like,
was.
all of the shit that he's done, like,
Wasn't
until
he?
now.
He was chill.
No, I don't think he was.
He's been
He
like
was-
the reserved guy when the other people were not
No.
not everyone in the crew was the spaz out, but he was.
He was the least.
He had a mission on his mind.
He was
Even
second
when,
to
when
least.
the league was doing something, he was doing his own shit on the side too. He's a planner and a thinker, bro. He's not.
No, yeah. I think this is the moment where he loses his mind, but before he was very composed.
No, because look, when you think about it, like, as the series, like, from when you first see him to now, there's a clear deterioration of his character
Sure.
as the series goes on.
I don't agree.
There
I think
is,
it just
because
started. I think he just started
he-
to unravel because
No,
Horikoshi
because-
felt like it.
No. Think about it. Because when you first get introduced to him, right? He's very separated. That's why he would seem calm and cool in these situations, because he has no stake in those situations, right?
Yeah.
Like, so his integration to this team and the Vanguard Action Squad, he's dejected because that's not his goal, right? But the closer and closer he gets to getting to where he, like, his end game, which is ending
which is
Endeavor,
killing
anything
himself and
connected to him.
Endeavor.
Yeah, he doesn't live for anything else but that.
No, I'm
So,
not joking.
when-
I'm just realizing that that is his goal, to kill himself and Endeavor.
I'll
And
say
I
this.
guess whoever
So-
else along the way.
Yeah, in these situations where you
Okay.
think he's calm, cool, and collected, it's just that he doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't give a fuck about anything that's going on in these situations.
I
in
think
the
I
end.
think you're both right.
Brian, but
I think you're both right. I
What?
think there was like a disintegration of his character, but it was a huge leap from when this arc started. Like he was,
it wasn't as gradual as you're making it seem.
yeah,
Brian.
it wasn't as
was
gradual.
Like, cool. Whoa.
He went
Whoa,
cool.
whoa, whoa.
Cool.
I think if you read it over, you'll notice that, like, there
And
there
I
were
will
things,
eventually.
No, he
there
went
were
cool.
things that showed that there was that little tick. That was just a flip that he could switch and become that character.
I think Josh
To
is a little
become
right.
crazy.
He went cool. Whoa. you know, just
Yeah. Yo, is
Even-
this my podcast, Academia? Like,
Yeah, we've
No,
been
hold
talking
on.
too long about
If
My
you-
Hero.
if you
I
go
guess
back
I started
to-
it off with the rant. I can't chop this one down. All right, what were you saying?
I mean, if
Closing
like,
thoughts.
'cause-
That's enough.
Look, no, because
one last thing. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Because when Dobby was first going up against, like, not Dobby, but Endeavor, when he was going up against the first Nomu, the Super Nomu, right?
Yeah.
And Dobby shows up, he wasn't calm, cool, and collected in that moment.
Yeah, he was
Like,
like,
he
yeah,
showed
Dad,
that
I'm
he-
gonna try to go for it now.
Yeah, he showed that he was
He
a
was hype.
petty. He said he was a petty, crazy like guy. Like he's
Yeah.
not. He's
I
not
just see
always
someone
been
that
the
was
calm,
really
cool guy.
motivated to kill the number one hero.
I-
The funny
I-
thing is, I wasn't even 100% sure that was his son at the time. So, like, I really didn't have
I
that
was
in my
100%
mind. Like,
sure at
I
that
just thought
point.
he was like, yeah, I'm about to take the number one out and get on with this agenda. I'm just speaking from my perspective.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, but if you go back and read it with this context of his insanity, this is not new to Davi.
Brian,
this
he
is
wasn't-
just him really fully unleashing
If you say
himself.
so.
He wasn't chill in that moment, but he wasn't like this. Like, this was a steep drop. Because even then, he had restraint. You know, like, at that moment, he was like, I'm going to chill.
Yeah, but what's the
Now's
point
not
of-
your time.
What's the point of restraint in this moment?
I don't know. He
Where
showed
is the for him? Like, if you think about it from his perspective,
Because he's
been waiting for
literally
this
about
moment,
to blow himself out. And
Yeah,
lose
but
the
he's been
objective.
waiting for this moment his entire life. Like his entire life, he's been waiting for this moment. And the
Listen,
moment
Brian,
is
I don't
here.
have a problem.
Where is the restraint? Where do you need the restraint for?
My issue is where is the unraveling of the character, because I feel like I'm looking at someone completely brand new, so I don't feel those same. It doesn't. I don't feel that flow and continuity of this character. I feel like I'm looking at something brand new and something for this arc, something that was manufactured, not like built something that was just like built up with Lego pieces real quick, not something that's been like brick, cement, brick, cement. And again,
I think-
just my
Agree to
Closing-
disagree, guys.
Yeah,
We're gonna be here all night.
statements for
That's like,
Davi-
can we agree to disagree?
We're going to be here all
I'm
night.
just gonna say this. You say it's a new character, like this is a brand new character for him. I say this is actually Davi. This is who he really is,
Sure.
and this
That's
is
fair.
who he's always.
And I
been.
would even agree with you. I agree with you.
No, yeah, we're not arguing that he was never this crazy. We're just saying that, like, oh, damn, he's just, like, lost his mind immediately. Like, in 2
not
seconds.
immediately.
In literally 2
It
seconds.
was a like from the beginning of
From,
his arc to now.
from my point of view, it was
I
rather.
wasn't
sudden.
surprised. I don't think I was that surprised that he went this crazy because
All right.
from the beginning of this arc to now, this is what's led up to it.
Agree to disagree. This was My Hero Academia. It was a good chapter. I'm not saying it's the best, but it is a really great one. To me, like second time around reading it, I was like, this is pretty great.
Bro, we spent so much time on this. I gotta give it to RGC, man.
Are you
Sure.
sure?
Give it its respect.
There's no
Bro,
taking
look
it
how
back.
Look how much conversation it sparked. How much emotions and thoughts, and critical thinking.
Your last
No,
chance.
it was a cool. I mean, I didn't give it to Chainsaw Man. It really wasn't much else, in my opinion.
Okay. This is Josh's.
Am I forgetting something?
Yes. My.
Shit. Did
We'll
One
get there.
Piece not?
We'll get
One
there.
Piece ain't come out this week.
Anyway. I'll give it to.
Whatever.
This is yours.
You know what? I'm not gonna give it RGC because I don't.
Okay.
that's not how I felt going in, and I don't really feel 100% that way. So we're not gonna say it.
All right.